Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Mystic Games. It's been a minute. Today we're going to talk Conquest mode for Northgard. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while. My favorite mode in Northgard is Conquest. I do like that they updated it so that you can play with your friend and they can essentially do the conquest for the clan that they're doing. I think that's awesome. That being said, each clan gets a unique mission in Conquest mode, and we're going to talk mostly about those missions and the buffs that they get from those missions. Now, I'm looking at the wiki for each of the clans. It goes up to, what clan is it? I actually had it all in order. I think the Ox or the Kraken is the last clan that it ends on. And then I'm going to have to go from memory, so I might be slightly vague. Most of the... I do have like an idea of how much I enjoyed them, because I played Conquest a ton, but I can't remember all their missions and what the rewards were. Anyways, I'm going to start with Stag. So the Stag clan, their first mission is essentially trying to collect fame, and you get a bunch of stones on the map. And their second mission is you get settlers that keep arriving randomly throughout the mission, and it costs more food, I believe. And then the other one is you don't have villagers supplying food, so you have to use special food, buildings such as fish, deer, and fertile lands, and you start with additional food. The rewards for all the missions, and we're going to talk about them as well, is the Scalds gain 50% more production. They also have their tools reduced by time and cost. I'm going to put higher value on the fun of the clan if their conquest bonus, their special conquest bonuses that they get, work throughout the conquest mode, as it's essentially a rogue-like mode where you get your buffs, and as you go, you keep getting more buffs and buffs and buffs, and you make your clan stronger until you get to the end, and then you win. For the Stag clan here, they get the Scalds produce 50% more. That in itself is just really strong, because Scalds with the one lore bonus where they provide gold essentially just makes them reduces the need extremely to need any sort of merchant. Not that you don't need them, but they'll essentially pay for your buildings getting upgraded and your building costs, and they provide happiness, so it just takes away that, and you usually will end up making gold from them. Their next bonus is food silos are free, and they use no building slot, and they improve the food gathering of villagers in the area, which is just a nice little bonus to have. So whenever you have villagers, you send them to the zone where your specialized food is, and they'll provide more food because they're in that zone. And then the last bonus with the final mission is you just get extra food, lumber, gold, stone, and iron when you reach 500 fame. So, what I think about their conquest is I think their first bonus is really fun, with the Scalds giving the 50% more. I think their second bonus is really fun, that it increases food silos to make them essentially, you just get a free food silo every time you build, and they don't take a building slot. It's super good. And then, the little bonus of having your villagers get a little bit more food is great. Both those bonuses get to be used for most of Conquest mode. And the last bonus they get, I think, is not fun, and I wish they did something else. I actually think I talked about this a little bit in one of my other tier list videos. Anyways, I'm going to put Stag in A. I think overall their conquest is really good. I think they dropped the ball at the end, but as I said, it's at the end, it's the last mission, you get the bonus, and then it's over. It is thematic with the clan to get the bonus, the third bonus, but it isn't what I would consider a good bonus for the clan, and I think it slightly drags the fun of their Conquest down. Next, we're going to talk about the Clan of the Goat. They're one of my favorite clans just because I enjoy, I enjoy just like my resources. I like to just make a nice little town. Of course, that's not what the game's all about, but I do enjoy doing that. The first thing they have is the Race to Yggdrasil, which is all about getting more food than your enemies and then getting Yggdrasil under your control. Then they have the Swamps of Death, which is essentially you have less space and there's you just have room reduction on all your zones. And then they get the invasions from Helheim, which is, the summoning of Draugrs and Valkyries. Gets summoned all the time, and you have to, like, fight off the waves. What they get for their bonus is you start with 3 sheeps instead of 1. That is super good. That's your first conquest bonus, so I rate that one the highest because you get the most use out of it. That one is really good for this clan as they have sheepfolds, and that just gives you more sheep. They also have the ability to create more sheep. If you have more than 1 sheep in a zone, they essentially, make more babies. The second one they get is you start with the barricades lore activated, and it grants 100% bonus defense. This one I don't like as much, although it makes sense for the clan that they're less of a I'm going to go out and attack clan and more of a economy clan, as I said, like building up their economy and just making a nice base. And then their last bonus, which is, you're only going to get from 1 map unless you go back and save non-essential conquest missions to do. Feast lasts 2 months instead of 1 month. Which that, I kind of wish was the second bonus, and then I wish the barricades bonus was the last one, because even the way the maps work out, the special missions, you would think you would want the barricade one for the mission that is all the Draugr, which is the final mission. So I think they are going to be put in... I put them in B. Their first one's really good. Their second one does make sense. I think it just would have went better with the third mission and should have been the last bonus. Being that they're a very feast-based clan, I would have put that in the middle so you got more usage out of it. So, I'm going to put them in B. I think it's still a solid conquest, but I think it could have been better. Slightly better constructed. So then you have the Wolf clan here. Let me find them here. Here we go. Also, if you guys can tell, I found a new list that was made by Patrick here. And it has all the clans, I believe. I don't think I'm missing any. So we're going to talk about Wolf clan next. They have the Call of Blood. There's no natural barriers between zones. You just try to kill the enemies. And then you have the Inner Sea, which is essentially the maps. It's weird. It's like a circle map. And then you have the Cursed, which is you kill Vladimir the Cursed in the center, and everyone's pretty much your ally, which I think that's a cool map where you get a bunch of AI allies. And what you get for the bonuses is, the first one is meat provided by wolves and brown bears is increased by 100%, so you essentially get double. Your Berserker gains 20% attack power in defense, and his recruitment cost is reduced by 20%. That goes super well with the theme of what you are. Your Berserker's your war chief in this situation. Happiness provided by your military units is increased by 100%. So the bonus, the first bonus, it's super, for what the clan does, it is helpful. I don't think it is thematic to the clan in a sense. I don't feel it is thematic, in my personal opinion. The Berserker gaining damage and defense is 100% what I'd like to see more of from the clan, but you get that in the middle. And then the final one is happiness provided by your military units is increased by 100%. That to me is just kind of lackluster. Again, I'm going to put this clan in C. I always put this clan pretty low. I'm not a big fan of the Wolf, and I also just think their conquest kind of is weak for what they do. I don't think it was very thematic. I think they could have did a little bit better. I wish they had done something with, like, the military units would have gotten, like the first one should have been the military units get some sort of reduction and then increased attack rate or something. You could essentially copy and pasted the war chief one, I think, and made that the first one for like just all military units, and that would have been a better bonus in my opinion. That being said, let's move on to the Raven, which is one of my favorite clans overall. It's, you know, the Hugin and Moonin of Odin there. So their first mission is Master Supplier, and essentially your buildings have reduced cost, and everything that's money related is just reduced or increased to produce more. Beyond the sea is all coastal zones are beaches. Rewards for commercial influence appear more often, and you send pirate ships around to raid people. And then you have imported knowledge, which is the last one. All lore production is disabled, and knowledge can only be acquired with money, and prices are 50% higher, which they essentially just cancel all the negatives out. For their conquest bonuses, they said they receive recruits bonus every 200 fame. Colonizing with crowns is reduced by 30%, and when hiring mercenary raids, it is doubled. So essentially, you get double mercenaries. What I will say about this one in particular is I like the colonizing with crowns. I think it works very well with the clan. I don't like the receiving of the recruits bonus every 200 fame. I don't think it's that good for the clan. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it plays with the theme of the clan very well, which is your first bonus, and that's the one I weigh the highest because the whole conquest is about getting your special bonuses and then using them to, you know, succeed. I do like the final one, which is hiring the mercenaries is doubled. If I were the creators of the game, I probably would have did it colonizing crowns first, because that, you know, you're always going to need that. It's relevant at any point in the game. Then I would have probably did mercenary raids or doubled, simply because I think it goes well with the Beyond the Sea mission, which is the second mission anyways. It just makes sense to kind of put it there. And I think overall it's a better bonus and more fun to play with, so I'd put it sooner. And then receiving recruits between every 200 fame is okay, and I probably would have put that last. Overall, I'm going to put them in B as well, even though they're one of my favorite clans, and I did enjoy their conquests. I feel like I just enjoy their conquest because I enjoy how they play, not because the conquest is just what I would consider very good. I feel like there was other things they could have did. I actually was going to do this video a while back, and then I've been super busy in my life. But I had come up with like other bonuses that you could have given them that would have been really cool, and I just can't think of what they were. Anyways, we're going to talk about Bear now. Bear is the winter clan here. They start off with one of the hardest, in my opinion, maps, is where you get a blizzard every winter, and it just makes everything extremely difficult. The Bear obviously reduces that, but even they have a hard, like, in my opinion, it even hurts them pretty badly. Then you have to defend your ally. You have like a weak ally that you got to protect. And the easy way to do that is to just kill the other allies as much as you possibly can, or kill the enemy as fast as you can to minimize their ability to attack your ally. And then you have Surrounded, where you start at the center, and then the enemy clans are all around you, and they just keep attacking you. This, like, all of these maps I would consider very hard for conquest, or harder. Defend the Oppressed is probably the easiest, but the Blizzard one, especially because it's your first map, and then the Surrounded, which is your last map, are relatively difficult. I would consider them comparatively to some of the other ones. Anyways, what you get from them is you start with the Bear. That's your first conquest bonus, which is really cool. You get the Armored Bear to start, and it gains some attack, power, and defense. So you have you have something to help you take territories and defend yours. The next bonus is Shield Bearers start with their weapon, so you don't have to upgrade them. And then their final one is you start with the Scabbard of Graham Relic available, so you get your weapon for your War Chief. For Bear, I'm going to put them in C. I think starting with the Bear is super cool. I think that's very cool. It's something unique that clan has. It's thematic. I would put them in higher C than I would Wolf, actually, too. But I think that the shield bearers just isn't that interesting for the second one. The second one, which I rate pretty high. And I think the Scabbard of Graham is, but it's your final mission. I kind of wish they swapped the Scabbard of Graham with the Shield Bearer. It would also be cool if they had done, you start with the Bears, the first one, and then you get the Scabbard of Graham for free, and then the first time you go to buy your War Chief, they make it like 50% reduction so you can get your War Chief out a little quicker to actually use the Scabbard of Graham relic. And then, I would have got rid of the Shield Bearer ones completely, or give the Shield Bearers something special. Instead of just making them start with their weapon improved, you give them that and then give them like a special ability that during the winter they gain like a ton of defense or something. Like they literally increase their defense by 50% or something on top of the additional 10% resistance they get for just being the bear clan. That's probably what I would do with them. I think that would have made the Conquest a little more fun. So, going from them, we're going to talk about the Boar. That's the next clan we're going to talk. This is the Lore clan. I'm not a big fan of them because they're the Lore clan, but they don't really engage in lore that much, in my opinion. Like, it's just they're a very weird clan to me. I wish at some point that the developers kind of fix that clan and give them some more lore type production, because I think that would make the clan a little bit more better and change some of their lore around to make it reflect that. Anyways, their first mission is you essentially have to unlock the Bifrost, which is you have to get a bunch of lore, and then you colonize the area, and then all your lore goes into the Bifrost. Then you have Keep It Simple. You pretty much don't upgrade your buildings, and you build an altar. Which is, they're weird too, because they want to build an altar, which is more of a fame thing, which I find interesting. And then you have the Wise One, which is the Sword of the Gods is in the center, and there's more rune stones and stuff. And you gotta essentially get the Sword of the Gods, and then accumulate wisdom, which is essentially pretty much the same thing as the Bifrost, except you don't have like a time limit on the like what you did with the Bifrost. The bonuses they get is the Menders produce 50% more, and their tools and costs and forge times reduced by 2. It's similar to what the Scalds get for the goat, or for the stag. The Altar of Kings is reduced by 50% and gives 50% more. Again, that's weird to me because they're not a fame clan. They're supposed to be like your lore clan. And then whenever upgrading your town hall, you gain 3 free upgrade buildings. But most of their stuff in their lore tree is based around not upgrading your buildings. So again, this is a very weird clan to me. So we're going to go with what I can see. And the Menders, 50% makes sense because they are the lore production replacement for the Boar, which is kind of supposed to be their thing, and that makes the most sense. The Altar of Kings is second. Having it reduced by 50% is very strong, and the fact that it gives you 50% more to bonuses is very powerful as well. I would consider that useful. I don't know if I consider it thematic for them, which is part of how I rate things for this game. And then the final one is when you upgrade your town hall, you get 3 free upgrades. That just doesn't really go with the clan at all, because one of their lores particularly is about not upgrading. So it's just weird. They're a weird clan. Do I find their conquests fun for what they have? I'm actually going to put them behind Wolf and Sea. I don't think that their conquest is thematic, and I don't think the bonuses are that great. I think the first bonus is okay. I don't think it's as good as the Scalds, even though it essentially does the same thing as the Scalds for the Stag, because their jobs are slightly different. They're the healers, whereas the Scalds are the happiness providers. And the fact that you can get money and happiness out of them for the Stag is far stronger than lore and healing from the Menders, in my opinion. The Altar of Kings is a decent secondary upgrade, and then the final one just doesn't make sense, nor do I think it's that much fun, and doesn't really suit the clan. It would have been kind of cool if they did, like, I don't know, maybe the Altar of Kings is, like, reduced, and then it provides more, but it also gives like additional lore on top of that. And every time you get 100 lore and you have an Altar of Kings out, it produces like some special lore unit. Again, that would take some creativity from the team to do something like that, right? You make some sort of unit that's a special fighting unit that you would get from every 150 lore, or 100 lore, or 200 lore, something like that, as long as the Altar of Kings is constructed. I think that would have been pretty cool. Or it, like, enhances one of your units or something, like shoots a beam down and they get, like, buffed. Something like that would have been cool. It would have been more thematic with the theme of the boar. We're going to move on to the snake here. The snake I do enjoy as a clan, so let's see how I feel about their conquest. So you have Greed's the price. All crowns are productions are disabled. You have to use ruins and damaged houses to get crowns. That's the first one. That's essentially what the mission is. And then you got to kill the giant boar in the center. You have the advantage because you can kind of walk through territories without having to take them. But this map's also very RNG dependent on if you have ruined houses and ruins around you, because you need them for money. They do respawn, but you need to have, them under your control to essentially keep using them. Dystopia is their next mission, which is happiness is always at 10. All productions are increased by 10%. A curse will regularly turn 10% of your population to spectral warriors. That's not great. I think I remember this one. I don't think this was annoying. I don't think it was hard, but I think it was annoying. And then you have hostile lands. Your skirmishers deal 50% more damage against foes. Skirmishers are half price. Zone hostility is doubled, and towers can't be upgraded, and enemy clans are just more aggressive. The bonuses you get are skirmishers have 50% attack power and defense. Super cool. They have that's their special unit that they get. So the fact that they get pretty much buffed 150% is really solid. It makes you want to use skirmishers more than any other unit, which is what your conquest should do with your clan. It's just make you want to use what your clan's good at more. The next buff they get, which is their middle buff, which I rate higher than the last buff, is your war chief gets 20% attack power and defense and plus 25 health. That's also very good because it buffs your war chief up, and the war chief's a big part of your clan, so you're playing, this is like, hey, you're going to be playing aggressive. You're going to make skirmishers, and you're going to make your war chief, and you're going to attack. The last one is your Scorched Earth ability lasts 10 years. That's cool too, because it's a unique mechanic around the snake. The only thing I would take points away from on them is that one of their middle maps, Dystopia, is just an annoying map. That being said, oh wow, I'm not going to put them in S. I'm going to put them in A. I don't think they're perfect, but I do think their bonuses are very well placed. Like, I think the skirmishers having the increased abilities as your first ability really pushes you to use the unit, the skirmisher, which is their special unit. And then having Signy get bonuses for your next one, which is your war chief, is really just strong and makes sense as well. And then the Scorched Earth, even though you only get it at the end, so I rate it not as highly, is really good too, because you get it, it goes with the clan. It's thematic. Pretty much all the maps too, I'd argue, are very well done to fit with the clan. Even the first one, which I don't find fun when I have to play it as much, but it does fit with the clan. The only one I want to say fits with the clan is the middle mission that they get for the Signy upgrade. And I think that's really where they're losing their S tier, because I think as a conquest, if they didn't have that one and they had something better, I think I would probably put them in S, to be honest. Next, we're going to talk about Horse. This is the mining clan. That's what I like to call them. You pretty much have the Valkyries Galore map, which is their first map. That's their opening map. You got to fight the fallen Valkyries, and you have to control and then defend the gates to win. Then they have the Gem Cutters, where gems will pop up throughout the map, and you got to trade with dwarves. And then you have Odin's Glory, which you have less deposits, and they contain less minerals, and you gotta reforge Odin's Sword, which is a giant sword with a bunch of places that you have to bring somebody to craft, which would be your war chiefs in this case. The first bonus they get is both your war chiefs regenerate in your territory, so they don't need a healer anymore. You can kind of take zones without needing them. The war chiefs also don't cost iron, which is important to know for this, so they're easier to get out. The next thing they give is 10% production bonus in zones with your war chief. I feel like that could have probably been higher. And then the last bonus they get is whenever a great tower is destroyed, it kills all units in the territory. So, we're going to start with maps like we've been doing. I think all of the maps make sense for the clan. So, I think the first map is probably the weakest. So I'd put them in, just for the maps as of right now, I'd put them in A. Simply because the first map is a weakness. Although I don't think it's completely irrelevant to the clan. I just don't feel like it's that relevant to the clan. The war chiefs regenerating is very strong because you have 2 war chiefs. It's just helpful to not have to fully focus on healing them all the time. The production bonus, because they are like the mining clan, does make sense to me. It's like, hey, we're a working clan. And then whenever a great tower is destroyed, it kills all units. That one is extremely weak. I'm actually going to put them in B tiered as a clan for their conquest. I think their bonuses aren't that great. I think the regeneration is the first one. I think it's cool that it does, and it helps because you have 2 war chiefs to like heal them. But I don't think it's thematic to what the clan is. I think it's just a nice bonus, along with the first map. So they kind of start off weak in what I would call a good conquest. The starting map doesn't really go greatly with their strength, and then their bonus doesn't really make sense. I honestly feel like your war chiefs regenerating in the territory probably should have been given something else with this that would have made sense for like the mining clan, and like maybe when your war chiefs are at full health, maybe they generate more stone, like mining. Maybe they mine, build, and stuff quicker, because that's kind of what the war chiefs do. Maybe if they had gave them like, they get a 50% production bonus at full health on top of having the regeneration, that would make more sense, because then it would improve their production. The next bonus is the 10% production, and I think that with a war chief in the zone, I think they probably could have made that higher, or essentially just rolled that into the first one. As I said, I just feel like they were at a loss. And then the great tower is being destroyed and then kills all units. That includes your own. It's just a weird ability. For some odd reason, these guys have a lore to upgrade their towers, and it's always been, I gotta be honest, it's weird. It's one of those things, like, it's like, it doesn't fit in my mind with them, is what kind of clan they are. But because they are kind of an economy clan, I guess defense similar to the GOAT makes sense. It just, the killing everything doesn't make sense to me. We're going to talk about the dragon next. We're going to move on because I already placed them. I don't have much more to say. So the first one you have to do is you have the frozen gates. Essentially, gates open and zombies attack you. Draugr come out and they attack you. The next one is the land is overrun with Elthers. Many gates of Mistfill are open, pouring frequently new Elthers out. You're pretty much killing the fire giants. And then too many wyverns. You have to kill wyverns, and then I think it's usually like 3 wyverns, and then you win. So those are their maps. All their maps are kill enemies, which the dragon is, considered a offensive clan, so it does make sense. Their first bonus is have plus 50 health. I do like that killing wyverns is their last map. I want to mention that because wyverns are kind of usually considered like lesser dragonkin in most lore, or they're like an offshoot that aren't even dragon, but people think they're dragons, so I find that pretty funny that their last map is to kill wyverns. The dragonkin, though, their first bonus is have 50 plus health, So all their warriors, their basic military units gain plus 50 health because they get Dragonkin. That's their special military unit. They get +1 to Dragon Essence for each sacrifice. Is their second one. That's pretty good too. So both the first bonus and the second bonus work well for their lore. Although I wish the Dragonkin had like plus 50 health and then something to damage and attack. Even if it was like 10%, you know, attack and then 10% defense and then 50 health, that would be pretty cool. Just because I like the additional damage for this would have been helpful. The Dragon Essence is really cool. That's like their main mechanic. So getting +1 to that for every sacrifice is really thematic. And then boats bring more thralls, and your thrall capacity is 50% higher. And then your thralls can't revolt. That's your final bonus. That's really good. I think map-wise, I put them in S, right? Because I think all their maps make sense for the clan. I think they're like a combat clan, and everything focusing on such is thematic and cool. I think that their first bonus is their weakest bonus, but I don't think it's a bad bonus. I actually think this is going to be my first S-class for Conquest mode. I think their Conquest is pretty well made. Again, I think there's a slight weakness in the first one, which is the one I rate the highest normally, but I would say just having 50 plus health is good. I just think having some attack and defense there. Or honestly, you know, what they could have did is just add regeneration to all Dragonkin. Like a light regeneration, similar to the horse war chiefs there. And then gave them like plus 30 health instead. And I think that probably would have been a cooler bonus for them. Because then you would just be able to fight and then heal up when you're out of combat without the use of healers. And I think that would have made the Dragonkin a little bit better. And then the Dragon Essence really works really well as the second bonus. And then even the third bonus, which I don't rate very highly, does make sense for the clan. So they are going into S tier as probably one of the funnest clans. And I do really enjoy their... I remember enjoying their Conquest when I did play it. I enjoy this clan anyways, but that really is a solid Conquest. So next we're going to talk about the Kraken clan. Befriending the Hotnir is their first map. I don't like this map because the computer just gets a bonus to making friends with the giants. So they automatically just start with a passive bonus where like they start befriending the giant before they like essentially even make contact with them. And you don't even get that, so you have to like rush to the center of the map or wherever the giants are to even get a stone up or something so you can compete. It's just very difficult for no reason. They really needed to nerf the amount the computer gets to the alliance with the Hotnir. And then the second one is Kobold Infestation. Essentially, you have a bunch of kobolds on the map you got to kill, and then you win. You try to win the map with domination or fame victory. The next map is fighting the Dark Elves. And then you have volcanic eruptions happening on top of that. So, yeah. Their bonuses there are you have 50% production for all your Norns, which is really strong because your Norns are your happiness people. They also give you the... they're not your happiness, sorry, because Kraken doesn't have happiness, but they have the word, they're the word production, which is essentially your happiness. That whole system being changed the way it was, I think the 50% production is really cool, but I think the whole mechanic around that works very strange, and to get the ghosts and stuff, you have to like take your Norns off, so it's a weird balance there. You can control more than one Valkyrie is your second bonus, and then the third bonus is enemy units in coastal territory lose life over time. Essentially just hurts the enemy to be on coastal territories that you own. Map-wise, the first map sucks. I don't like it, and I think it doesn't really fit with the theme of the Kraken. And I do like the Kraken clan, by the way. I want to make that very clear. So we're already starting probably in almost B tier simply because of the maps. Kobold Infestation and the Uprising of the Elves maps. Even there, I'd probably put them in A. So I'm probably looking at B just for the maps, right? For the bonuses, the 50% production to Norns is helpful, but it's also set up in a way where they change the way Norns work. So it's not as useful as it used to be when they had happiness in a sense. And then controlling one more Valkyrie, which is a unique unit for them, is good, but it's not that beneficial because you need to use Norns to sacrifice to turn into Valkyries, which I guess the first bonus kind of helps you there though. And then the enemy units losing life in coastal territories is very thematic. I'm going to put them in B. I think that their maps are kind of weak, but I do believe that their conquest bonuses are thematic to the clan. And I do like the bonuses and stuff, and I do like playing the Kraken. I just feel like they're not as fun as some of the other clans are. The final clan we're on the last two clans I think I have information for, and then it ends. And then I'm going to have to go from memory here. So we have the Ox. The Ox has too many Wyverns. You got to kill the Wyverns again. Essentially a repeat map. You have Surrounded, which is a repeat map. And then you have the Call of Blood, which is a repeat map from the Wolf. You have to destroy your buildings. Your destroyed buildings earn their full cost back, essentially. And then destroying enemy buildings using Ram gives you their resources, which is pretty strong, because if you run into an upgraded building, you get the stone and everything from it. All units gain plus 25 health, which is solid for what the clan does. It's thematic. And then Torfin can summon his own shadow to follow him everywhere. That's super cool, because Torfin's like your thing, and you're just making a clone of him. That being said, maps not unique, so it's kind of a weakness. Also, I don't think the Wyvern map makes much sense with the Ox. I do feel like combat, like where you're focused on killing the other clans, like Surrounded and Call of Blood, are more of the idea of the Ox clan, is that they want to destroy, right? Your first upgrade is destroying buildings using Ram, which is obviously enemy focused, not NPC. I guess they're all computers, right? It's not focused on the non-player clan enemies, right? You don't ram into a Wyvern, so it's just kind of weak there. I'm gonna put them I do like this clan, and I think the overall fun of the Conquest is higher, but I think I'll put them in A simply because the first mission doesn't really go well with the clan, in my opinion. I wish it was more of a map based on combating another clan, because I think that makes more sense for the first upgrade and for the clan in general. And that's all I gotta say about the Ox. I do think they were fun to play. I think the Shadow at the end, I wish that one came sooner, but it's very strong, and that's why it's not sooner. But I think that one would have been more fun to put up top. You know, I'd probably, if they had a better first map and then maybe the Shadow was sooner, I'd probably put them in A. Or S, I mean, as how fun their Conquest was. Next, we're going to talk the Lynx clan, which I really like the idea of the Lynx clan. I think it was not well put out there, put it that way. They have Defend the Oppressed, which is, you know, defend your ally, which is a solid first one, I think, for them. Then you have Killing the Valkyries and Taking the Gates, essentially the Valkyries galore mission. And then you have the Inner Sea, which is you essentially run around the circle of a map that you have generally, and you kill everybody before they can unite together and then push against you. At least that's the easiest way to deal with them, because once they unite and they meet each other, they start pushing against your base, and it becomes difficult. Oh, and the site actually doesn't have listed what their special things are, and I actually don't remember the links well enough to grade them on that. They do have good maps, though. Map-wise, I think maps go probably S tier, honestly, for what they are, their clan is. God, I wish I remembered their upgrades. I think one's for the lions, and then one's like the deer trappers get more food or something like that, I feel like. I'm going to put them in A tier, because I remember them being enjoyable, but I can't remember what their bonuses are, and I don't have them listed here. Which I kind of wish I did, because I do feel like their bonuses were pretty good. Anyways, for Conquest, I'm out of information, so now we're going off straight memory here. Next, we're going to do Rat. Rat had some interesting maps. They're about like building buildings to get more villagers. How fun was their Conquest when I played it? I think their Conquest bonuses were actually really good. Like, they made sense. One was like they spread disease when they die. I think that was the later one, though. I'm trying to think what their first bonus was. I could actually go play the game and find them out, but I'm not going to do that. For the rest of this map, I'm going off memory, guys, so bear with me here. Some of these may not be as accurate based on all... Like, I can't... It's hard for me to score these ones without the information. This one I have memorized. Like, the first one is you fight with the golem. That's their first map. The bonus is for the Norns, which is good. They have pretty solid bonuses. These guys have pretty solid bonuses in maps as well. I think the last map for them is not fair, in my opinion. Like, the computers were getting attacked and were surviving, and I was getting raided by the computers and the enemy neutrals all at the same time, and these guys were attacking me, and it was just weird. But the rest of the bonuses was like upgrading your war units and troops and stuff. I'll put them in A. I'm going to put them in B. Those two I both remember. And I think the first map for them kind of sucks because of how the AI interacts with you. It's almost like the passive. They get a passive bonus like the Kraken's first map, the enemy does, where they just keep upgrading their golem, and eventually you're going to run out of resources. You need to, like, essentially trap them in a way where you can attack them, force them to attack you. You have to, like, trick the AI. It's a weird situation, but they do, their Conquest and, like, what their bonuses are and everything do make sense. The Eagle bonuses were really good. I'm going to put them in A. Their last map was really unique, where you need to, like, send your Eagle Scout out, and it makes light around you. And then you have to build towers to provide light for zones, and then upgrade those towers to essentially get the zone, and you get attacked randomly, and then you got to go close the portals. It's a very cool, unique thing that they get, and all their bonuses throughout the gameplay are pretty fun, and most of the things that the clan has to do make sense, like on their missions. Like, one of the ones is you don't really get resources around your zones. You have to, like, go farther, and they're a good clan at that because they can take villagers past neutral zones. That's one of their upgrades they get. It just all works with how the Eagle's supposed to work. I can't even place... I'll be honest with you guys, I can't remember Lion at all. I'm going to put it in D, but not because I don't like it. I can't remember it. Although I just don't like Lion in general, and I don't remember enjoying their clan that much. But I will say, specifically for them, I can't think... I honestly didn't like them enough to the point where I can't think of their bonuses and anything like that, because I don't enjoy the clan. If I'm going to play the Kingdom clan, I prefer Stout, and I'm going to put them in B. I do like their upgrade. Their first upgrade is, like, they get, essentially they get their villagers from their watchtowers, and that's a super good bonus for what the clan does. The rest of the bonuses for the Stoat don't make sense to me. Like, they're not very solid in what their theme is. And the maps are also, in my opinion, don't really work with the theme of what the Stoat probably should be. So I'm going to put them in B. I'm going to put the Squirrel Clan in S. Most of their upgrades were based around meals and stuff, which made sense. And then they had... Overall, their maps were really good. I can't remember them having a bad map where I was like, man, I don't want to play this. And I think I'm going to actually put Rat, because I don't remember them 100%, but I remember them overall, and I'm not a big fan of Clan of the Rat, but I do feel like their Conquest was pretty fun, and I think the theme of their Conquest matches the theme of what their clan should be. So this is how I'm going to make my tier list. So I think that's pretty much where everybody lands. Obviously the last like 6 I had there, I don't have the information on. I'd have to go replay them all to be 100%, but overall I believe I'm pretty correct about the funness of each of their conquests in this map, at least for myself. I really remember enjoying the Dragon Clan. It was just totally based around what they do. I remember the Squirrel was really fun for me as a person that likes to build up their economy, and it made sense with what their clan does. So yeah, that's where we're going to end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a minute. Leave your comments down below for what clans you like to play in Conquest, and what conquests you think are the most fun. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.